Hi, Jen.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Good. Yeah, we've got together today, I suppose, to talk about another topic within our business, and there's different types of loyalty and how we help customers, I suppose, move through those types of loyalty. Mm-hmm. And we've got a story within our business that we've already talked about on another podcast, if anybody wants to look out for that, called Snog, Marry, Swerve. And it talks about these differences between sort of inertia loyalty, where people are a bit trapped into loyalty. You've got mercenary loyalty, where people are pulled in by quick short-term promotions, but they don't stay loyal to the brand.
Yeah.
And then evangelical loyalty, where people are really bought in and have true loyalty for a brand. So that's kind of where we left off on that last chat. And I just wanted to talk about how we take our customers through a bit of a journey, I guess, through those different types of loyalty, and why all are important in one way or another. And we have, in those stories, we have this thing called the loyalty journey, which is kind of like a pyramid. If people think of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's kind of a bit of a version of that, really. And the idea is that to achieve real evangelical loyalty, the company, first of all, at the bottom, if you imagine Maslow's hierarchy of needs, at the bottom rung there, you've got like great customer service and a good product and appropriate pricing and all those kind of things. So that's kind of your base level. But obviously, you might have competitors who also do that. So how do you sort of get ahead?
Well, importantly, you can't base a customer loyalty program on bad service, right? So that has to be a hygiene factor. That has to be something that you need to have in place. And yeah, it's a really important discussion, because I think the markets and industries, specifically that we work in, they're so crowded with competitors. You really do need to stand out, and you do need to do something different from what everybody else is doing. And I think it's always the easy option to discount, to offer a very short-term tactical promotion, but it's not always going to have the best results for you. So I think it's quite often a mindset change for our customers, and trying to educate them about where real loyalty lies and how to gain it in your business. So I think going on a journey with our customers is probably a really real reflection of what happens in the strategies that we build with them.
That's such a great point. I think it's worth saying again, right? You can't build, there's no point putting a loyalty program in to a business that has poor service, It
definitely won't have the right impact.
It's not the silver bullet, but it is the thing that will drive incremental behavior if you have those things in place already. Absolutely. So these different types of loyalty and how we take people through this journey. So that's the bottom rung, right? Is having your house in order, I guess, those hygiene factors. And I guess there are a lot of businesses that do really well from that kind of thing. So we talked in our previous podcast, Snog, Marry, Swerve, about Ryanair kind of being one of these inertia loyalty customers, where people are loyal to them because of maybe low prices, and when everything's going, perfectly well, it works. It's just if it goes wrong, it starts to go really wrong with people like that.
But there also brands like that, they're not doing much to build your loyalty. They are doing the bare minimum that they can do to just achieve customers. There is a big difference, isn't there, between loyalty and just having a service that people go to because they have to, or it's easy, or they don't have to think about it. And we obviously are trying to encourage going up the ladder to the next type of loyalty, which we would describe as mercenary loyalty.
Yeah. So this is like where you're just offering a one-off reward with the mercenary loyalty. We typically think of that as promotions or a quick discount or, a rebate in a B2B situation. But we obviously know there's limitations to that, right? You start with a promotion, it costs you money, you might get a good return, and it might be really flashy and be very successful. But ultimately, when the promotion's over, it's done, and your results sink back to where they were, and your competitors can easily copy it potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And it almost becomes hard work to keep running promotions that are bigger and better than the last one you ran. You end up channeling so much of your marketing efforts, budgets, and energy into thinking about how to be better than you were the last time you ran a promotion. And that can be really hard for a business. It's a big strain, especially on budgets, and it doesn't always pay off as well. I think that aiming for something more long-term or consistent is just always a better approach. But this is something we're up against all the time with our customers that are coming through now and joining us. It's it's something that they're seeing a lot in their industries, is this price competitive discounting. Come here, get this.
Short-termism,
come here, get double of whatever it is, that they're selling, and it does.
Then they're surprised when their customers run to a competitor who's offering the same promotion the next month.
And I think it has its place. It almost is quite useful the first time you do it, but I think the long-lasting nature of it won't pay off.
No, and it's certainly got its place, and we try and combine, I guess, these type of short-term promotions with a longer-term loyalty strategy. When you combine those two things, you supercharge them. So I think it's an important part of it to drive to get attention, right? You do a big promotion, you get market attention in that moment. The big challenge, I guess, is how do you hang on to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
After the promotion's over.
And I think having a baseline structure for any loyalty program is so important for that, because it gives you the fallback, it gives you the consistency, it gives people know they're going to get something, for everything that they're doing or for every interaction that they're having with you, rather than just the single time that they interacted with you in the year. And I think just knowing that, it gives you that another option, another layer, and that's important. So there is definitely a place for tactical promotions, but I think you're always having a base level of engagement and activity driven through potentially like a points program like we're offering is always a really good way of structuring your program. And there's so much you can do with that through your comms as well. And one of our approaches is this wraparound people-powered business. Incentivesmart are an agency at our heart. So we will strategize alongside our clients and be an extension of them and their marketing teams. And that allows us to put the loyalty program front and center and put any promotions or even base level points that we're running during that period, into their main focus of their marketing strategies, and keeping those comms really clear and consistent, I think just adds so much value to a loyalty program.
Excellent. Well, we'll get onto that in a sec as well in a bit more detail. But so we've established the sort of next rung on the ladder, on the hierarchy, is sort of the reward and getting that reward right. And what do you think is the right reward? Because obviously if you do a promotion, you can give an iPad away, you can give a bottle of wine, you see these promotions all the time, or some vouchers. What do you see as like the right type of reward?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that choice is key. I think enabling somebody to choose what they think is the right reward is the best option by far. And that means that you might have to put 1,000 rewards in front of them for them to be able to make that decision. But by them making that decision, you're empowering them to make a behavior and follow a path that they are choosing. And I think that that's really important. So it's not for us to dictate to them what is going to drive their behavior or put their spend through a company. It's down to the individual. And the world we live in is so personalized. So why shouldn't rewards be the same?
Absolutely, yes. You're going to work harder towards something that's important to you, right?
Absolutely.
So if I say to you win this bottle of champagne, it may not drive your behavior. You might not drink.
It would in my case, but I definitely think that...
it was a bad example with you, Jen.
Indeed. But I definitely think that there's definitely many examples we've seen that you put a prize in front of someone. I think this often comes from travel incentives. It's an old school mentality, I think, to take your top performers out for a trip. And there's definitely room for elements of this in our space. But I think that has evolved now into people wanting to spend their time at home, being precious over where their time is spent. Yeah. And that's a hard push for somebody to win a trip that they don't necessarily want to go on. So I think since
COVID, travel's exciting. And I think individually it's great for you and your family. But if you go, group trips are sometimes, it's almost like forced fun, isn't it, for some people?
I think they have their challenges sometimes, especially when it's company business led. So, but giving somebody the choice of what they want to drive for is just highly important in order to drive the results to get there, drive the performance.
Absolutely.
Element.
Yeah, definitely. So that's kind of your mercenary loyalty covered. So we've offering people choice of reward. But in order for that not to be a one-off, and we need to take people up that ladder a bit further, right up the pyramid. And at Incentivesmart, one of the things that we do is once the reward gets people's attention, essentially.
Yeah.
You dangle the carrot, if you like, and you say, we're going to buy a behaviour from you by you do this, we give you some reward. That's great. That gives you attention. Now we need to take them to the next level where they want to interact with you more often and they learn about you. So what do we do? What sort of tools do we offer that help people elevate their customers to that next stage?
Yeah, it's so interesting because there are so many ways that you can do this within the structure of a loyalty program. I think one of the most interesting things I've seen come through and be utilized by clients recently is more of a tiered approach. So enabling everybody to have an entry level point into your rewards program, I think is really key for driving more behavior and for driving that incremental push that you may not have had previously.
Yeah, getting adoption initially.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I think that playing on that and driving people through more of a tiered approach and unlocking benefits, perks, other reward, other things that the business can offer, maybe outside of the loyalty program as well. It might be things like better booking rates or better purchasing rates. There might be other things that you can unlock as a customer. But I think though moving somebody through tiers is a really exciting way of gamifying their experience, but also keeping it personalized, ensuring they get something back.
Yes.
And it's a great way to structure a program.
It's interesting. Yeah, one of our long-standing clients, and you've been in the business 12 years now?
15
years. Wow. Sorry, I'm underselling your experience. I apologise.
It's okay.
It's been forever.
Where have the years
gone? You've been in the business 15 years. Wow. You should be getting some reward for that, hopefully. One of the clients we've had that entire time is Miele. And we won that business. Initially, it was a bit of a... it was around sales promotion, right? How would we drive sales during a difficult time? It was back in the financial crash and they were sort of looking for ways to not discount and not devalue their brand. And over time, I guess we've used that program. The initial reward was there to get people's attention, but over time, the communications, the education pieces that go through that program have meant that people really understand the brand in more depth.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's so many marketing strands that we can pull on in a program, which a program effectively channels everything. It channels all of your marketing efforts into one streamlined place. And I think that can reduce efforts, pain points elsewhere in businesses. So it has many, many good positive impacts on a client side. But I think for the customers as well, it gives them a chance to understand what the brand is actually all about. What's their why? What are their products? When the latest products is being launched, we have a good opportunity to get in front of that client and tell them all about it, because you've opened up this comms channel that you never had previously.
It's got a captive audience. Yeah,
they love it. They've got you've got your points balance on top of an e-flyer. You've got aspirational rewards that they can redeem at any time. You've got the ability to earn points all throughout the year. They're incredible things to drive somebody's engagement levels. And I think in a competitive space, you shouldn't have to discount your premium product. You can pull on other things. And I think the loyalty program, the communications that we run just enable you to do so much in front of a customer.
I think we should do a whole new episode on the dangers of discounting. And communication. Two great topics.
They tie in together.
Yeah, perfect. And then I guess once you've got that attention and you've communicated and you've educated people start to understand why that product is important, and they start to talk about it more confidently in front of their customers.
This is it. It becomes an easier sale for them, and that's effectively what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve ease and confidence, and trying to give people as many tools as they can to go and sell our clients' products, or in the channel or the space that they're in. And I think we have a great opportunity to do that with the resources and the communications that we offer, and certainly something that some clients embrace. And you feel the difference. You feel the step up in ambassadorship from the customers when they are embracing all of that good content that we're putting out.
Brilliant. Yeah. And I suppose, it's that idea that although a big part of our business is the reward element of what we do, it's actually leading us on this path to creating it's all about relationships, right?
Absolutely.
And that's our strapline to the business, rewarding relationships, because it's not just about the reward. That's something that gets people hooked initially, but it's about driving those long-term relationships.
Yeah, it's so important, and that relationship has to be two-way. You have to build trust, and you have to build consistency. And I think enabling communications, being personal with your customers, knowing who your customers are, knowing what's going to make them tick. There's so much good stuff to that. There's so much value for a business to that. And we have some great examples of that, which we'd be happy to share, I think.
Absolutely. So I suppose just to summarize what we've talked about, and talking about our pyramid, our sort of hierarchy of needs, that the way, I guess our process is that we work with companies who already have like a great product and they've got good service and they've got those things in place. And where they don't, we try and help them with those elements. But effectively, once you've got that in place, you use reward and recognition and benefits to try and get attention effectively. So you're buying behaviors at that point, behaviors that you want to see, you're buying them with a reward. But once you've got that attention, you use communication, education, consistently do that to take them up to that next level. Towards that evangelistic and true loyalty. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's so much more to that as well. Like, for example, a big buzzword, I guess, in our industry is gamification. So, layering on this another enticing and exciting layer to the program for a client or for a member to have that game of chance or even a game of skill. It doesn't matter, but just being able to unlock more behavior, more engagement, more awareness of your brand, I think is just tools like that are really key.
Yeah, and loyalty isn't static; it's a journey, we say. So yeah,
and it shouldn't be static. The best programs are the ones that evolve and mature.
Absolutely.
And we've seen great examples of that over the 15 years that I've been here.
It's a great example of not recognizing someone's.
But yeah, we've definitely seen programs that when they start with us are often not what they are today. And I think that's a positive thing, because audiences change and requests and what their expectations are change. But the really important thing in that is that the brand stays consistent, and the messaging you're putting out is something that the member knows and trusts. And I think that's where you can create a real winning situation.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a good place to end. Thanks again for joining me.
You're welcome.
Good chat. Speak soon.